There you go.
Fat Man also gave up 2 tutties. Because he
No.
move.
Fat Man didn't give up 2 tutties. Stop
Yes,
it.
he did.
He literally swung
I
the
hate
game.
Tyler Lancaster.
It's
He didn't
just
swing
like
the game.
Will
He got
Redmond.
fucking lucky.
Listen.
He is like the dog he's the dog where the sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while. And this
It's
is
just
why
like Will Redmond.
No, this is my point. This is my point, dude. This is why 51, 25, and 95 are still on this goddamn team. And if this was the actual Patriots, their asses would be
really
long
good plays
gone.
tonight.
Exactly. And you know what? He made 3 good plays, got his ass blowed up just like he does every game. He makes 3 good plays every game and gets his butt fushed in the rest of the game the whole damn time. I'm sick of it. Do you know when the big plays come? Is when Gary, 91, 52, and 55 are all on the field together, and 51 and 95 ain't nowhere close to the goddamn line of scrimmage at all. That's when the sacks happens. That's when the interceptions happen. That's when the run game gets stuffed. That's when the defense is efficient. Then you put 25 in there. 39 has already played in 2 games better than 25 has all season. 25 has had 5 good plays and 55 bad ones. 95 has had 5 good plays, 55 bad ones. Fackrell has had 20 good plays, 125 bad ones. I'm just tired of it. Like, you cannot justify grading and keeping players on because they make a good play, or this is the...
You
know
mean
what you're
swung
doing
the
here?
momentum?
You're doing the ha-ha Clinton Dix to 3 damn players. That's what you're doing right now.
No. Tyler Lancaster literally swung the momentum. Just like Will Redmond, when he gave up that big play to Darren Waller, what did he do? He still made the tackle. Next play was a Blake Martinez turnover. They still we have solid depth, man. That's the thing. Is
Lancaster every once in a while.
You got to give the man his due. He helped swing the game. I'm sorry. I know you rag on him all the time. I agree with you, but today, no. Lancaster saved their butt.
Had his fat ass made the plays and shed the blocks, he wouldn't have gave up 2 touchdowns, and he wouldn't have had to be there to make a game-changing. That's my point, is do your goddamn job efficiently or let somebody else do it, and then you're not in a situation where you have to cause a fumble that keeps your ass on the team because everybody like you is going, oh, yeah, he did it. You know what? He was on a one-on-one block on the 5-yard line and got pushed down into the damn thing. They ran right at him, and he could not shed a one-on-one block with a guy that was clearly skinnier and smaller than him. I'm tired
Jay,
of
guess
it.
What?
Like, no.
Jay, guess what? He's part of a team that's 7-1 too.
So, all right, I understand. I understand what you're saying and where you're coming from. It's kind of similar to like the whole, for me during this game, the whole middle linebacker argument, right? So last week after the game, Jay, you and I, we had a little bit of an argument, not necessarily an argument because I didn't really argue back, but however, we were talking about Blake Martinez. And we were talking about middle linebacker and how the importance is on this team, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to say this again. Having a fucking really good middle linebacker who was actually truly sideline to sideline, it was a difference maker, would make a big deal. That would make a big difference on this defense. But again, I get it. People like you and people like a lot of other people don't like to put a lot of stock into the middle linebacker position. However, I do. I say that if people actually drafted someone who was a difference maker at the middle linebacker position, but again, I get what you're saying. Hey, we don't want to put a lot of stock into it. We don't want to pay money to those people. Those defenses that have middle linebacker. Nah, I say bullshit. There's a lot of defenses that had really good middle linebackers that if you actually put some stock into that, put some draft position into that, that's a difference maker on the field on this defense. And I still feel that if we had that position differently than what Blake is, now again, I'm not a Blake hater. I'm not a Blake Martinez hater. I think he brings a lot of intangibles to the field. I feel like he is a smart leader on the defense. I feel like he does play pseudo sideline to sideline, although not truly, because I think he gives up shit in the passing defense, in the passing game.
He did tonight on that Kelsey touchdown.
Oh, there was more than just that. I still say that if we had a difference maker at middle linebacker, if we actually put stock into that position when it came to the draft and capital, that this would be an even better defense, but we don't. We like to look at that position as if that position doesn't matter. We like to look at that position as if it doesn't matter who you throw out there. It doesn't matter. We're not going to pay anybody in free agency. We're not going to draft anybody. It doesn't matter. It's just a body. Screw that. No. I feel like we can if we put actually somebody who's legitimately talented and gifted at that position, this defense changed. It's a different defense. But we don't do that. We don't.
Next thing I was going to bring up on that, Ryan.
I'm not trying to pay this fucking dude. I'm not trying to pay a middle linebacker big time money. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying we're going to go sign a free agent in the offseason. We're going to pay him some 4 or 5 year deal worth tens of millions of dollars. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying let's at least look at that position as if it's actually important for once, and let's draft someone a little bit higher than just some undrafted dude. That's all I'm saying. Or let's put someone higher than, a guy. What? Blake was what? Third, fourth round? He was at least middle round.
Blake was a fourth.
Yeah. We've obviously tried to do it. We traded for a guy like B.J. Goodson, who's a middle linebacker, who's a thumper. He's not a pass defender, but he's a run defender. We tried to do it, didn't work out. We got guys like Oren Burks that barely sniff the field at this point, even though they're better in pass coverage, in my opinion, than what we currently have. But yet they don't sniff the field. Like, we don't put stock in that position. There's a reason why I felt like guys like Devin Bush out of Michigan.
Do you know what I've noticed, Ryan? Just to jump in here quickly.
Yeah,
what
go.
I noticed is instead of the middle linebacker and trying to find one of those, what they've been doing that's been pissing me off, and they've been doing it more and more, and I noticed it, and I'm sure maybe if you go back and watch the tape, if you ain't noticed it, I'm going to point it out for you. I'm getting irritated because instead of putting Oren Burks on the field, which I feel like would be better for a coverage situation and be better against the run, they end up putting Redmond or Sullivan back at the strong safety spot and walking up Amos. I didn't pay fucking Amos to come in free agency to play goddamn linebacker. He came back there because he was helping fix our safety position. You told us that Oren Burks was that guy. Put him on the goddamn field. Because what ends up happening is that now Amos isn't back there to communicate, and Savage makes either a mental mistake or he's got a different assignment, and the other guy back there is making a mistake or can't do his job or is confused. And so we end up having the same problem we ended up with last year, because linebacker in the dime package last year still wasn't a problem. It was still safety. And now we're taking our safety that we've paid to solve that problem, and we're trying to have him solve two issues, and it's not helping either one because he's getting smushed in the run game because he's not. Amos is most powerful on his tackles because he's got a running start. We saw what happened to him against a Josh Jacobs last week when he's 3, 4, 5 yards off the line of scrimmage and he goes to with less momentum. He ends up being oxymoron, smash gets smashed. And that's an irritation that I've noticed. I don't know if you noticed it, Ryan.
No, I've noticed it. We don't have, that's because we don't have the players that Pettine wants truly to play those roles. That's what it is. But because we it's a philosophy that our team has had for years where we don't put a lot of stock in that position. And I keep saying, and you argued with me last week on this podcast after the game, that you don't agree. You don't think that top defenses in this league have people in those positions and pay them the money and that they're going to be successful. Well, I disagree. I think
they are. No. My point is the middle linebacker is the running back of the defense. The teams that have good defenses or what are perceived to be good defenses and then requisitely end up paying their middle linebacker, who they perceive as good, big money, end up doing just like
what was Ray Lewis? What was Ray Lewis?
Ray Lewis had 4 years where everybody said he was done when he wasn't even 28 years old.
What was Patrick Willis?
Patrick Willis never played one season without 3 defensive linemen in front of him that were Pro Bowlers.
Dude, I'm just saying.
I'm
just
telling
saying.
you. And also the guy that they paired next to him was an undrafted free agent, Navarro Bowman, who people argued was better.
Good too.
He was an undrafted free agent, and a lot of people said that he
was
arguably better.
There's a guy right now that can come in and help this defense. It's a free agent, and he's played good ball so far. He just had one bad game against the Vikings. Just saying, guys, Zach Brown.
I was just gonna say Brown because it wasn't a bad game. It was a comment.
The point that I'm making, though, is I don't care where they're drafted. The point that I'm making is that it makes a difference if you actually have a good player at that position. That's the point.
Zach Brown is a good player at that position.
Player, or if they're an undrafted player, the point that I'm trying to make is that it matters on your defense if you actually have a good player at that position. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm going to back you here, Ryan. Here, I'm going to go ahead and say this. San Fran, you have Quan Alexander. You have Saints, Demario Davis. You have the Pats, Dante Hightower. All 3 middle linebackers.
Okay, so then I'm gonna look at you, Dave, and I'm gonna call you a bull-faced liar because you've been a Martinez backer. You backed me up when I said that he took steps and he is what he is. He's got a club on his hand, and let's be real, he is not no middle linebacker is covering a tight end. Even I don't give a fuck how dick hard you are over Patrick Willis or Ray Lewis. You ask them to cover Travis Kelce 40 yards down the field, they're getting their ass fucking
Willis
burned,
did.
guys.
That was one of his benefits. He could cover tight ends.
No, he didn't. Patrick Willis,
yes.
Dave, there was never fucking tight ends like there is right now that he had to do. He might have faced 1 or 2 in a season. Every week these guys are facing guys nowadays that Willis retired because his feet hurt and he couldn't run anymore.
He just hates the middle linebacker position, Ryan.
It is overrated in today's game. It's just like the running back.
All the number one defenses have middle linebackers that are really damn good.
You need good ones, but the idea that good ones are great because they're just great without defensive linemen, even the greats will tell you, you know what? I was really good when I had Tony Saragusi, who was 340 pounds, eating up double teams in front of me. And then when I had 3 years and everybody said I was done, I went to Ozzie Newsome and I said, motherfucker, I'm sick of these motherfuckers talking about how I need to retire. Go get me a big fat motherfucker. And you know what they did? They went and drafted with their first overall pick, Haloti Ngata. And then guess what? The emergence of Ray Lewis came back and he was Ray fucking Lewis again doing his goddamn dance. So I'm tired of this shit. The Hall of Famers, Nitschke, look at his defensive line he had in front of him. You want to talk about frickin' Harry Carson and those guys? Harry Carson played next to arguably one of the 2 best defensive frickin' pass rushers ever. And they had a good defensive line in front of them. Stop with this shit. The trench warfare is what is the game. I don't care what the rules are. I don't care how great of a skilled position player, middle linebacker is a skilled position player in 2019. The motherfuckers, as good as they are, ain't doing shit without the people in front of them. And Blake Martinez is much more effective when 95 ain't getting his fat ass pushed around the field and he don't have to cover guys that can run twice as fast as he is 40 yards down the field. It's not his job. It's never going to be any middle linebacker's strong suit. They're good at 15 to 20 yards in coverage. Even the Hall of Famers at best, they're supposed to be downhill players and sideline to sideline. The few that can actually cover can't do it like a corner or they'd be a fucking corner.
You just named off all these.
No, I love it. I love the passion. I love the passion.
He was honestly, a DB. He hates linebackers. That's why.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, Jay.
Do you know why? Because in practice, when I was in high school, I was the only dude that knocked off the frickin' fullback's helmet from 30 yards out. Not the linebackers that outweighed me by 50 pounds. And guess what the coach said? Why does the little motherfucker playing more boom than everybody else?
I love it. I love it. God, just being able to look at you right now, and no one on this podcast can see this outside